The video for the 28th of October is titled, Swimming in a Sea of Confusion. Frankly, I have no idea where I'm going with this. I could be talking about this video or my life. Take your pick. For most of my life, there was a destination, a point of sorts where things would be reversed. Carl Jung introduced a big word called enantiodromia, which is a reverse flow of energy or a balancing. God knows, or does he, she, we need it. Things are grossly out of balance with criminals running the show and people with high ideals and aspirations being shamed or silenced. Promises of improvement leave believers like me frustrated and disillusioned. The promised kingdom of heaven on earth is, for many of us, just a drug we might call hopium. Promises of fulfillment are ever being moved further into the future. The demonic criminal class, many call the cabal, keeps digging in its heels, while the Creator continues to ignore the cries of honest men and women seeking remedy lifetime after lifetime. If this is according to some plan, I think the planner is an idiot. If there is no plan, we are all idiots. As I said, I don't know where I'm going to go with this. I've had many titles and thoughts come through my head as I sat off and on throughout the morning, since the middle of the night actually, trying to figure out what I was going to talk about in my next video, and many ideas came to me, and I've scrapped them all because I am, as I said in the title, swimming in a sea of confusion. I get people telling me still that the changes are imminent, that they're going to happen before the election. First, of course, they were going to happen by July 4th, and going back even further, it's been promised since Bush Jr. was in the White House, since Clinton actually was in the White House. The Bill Clinton, not Hillary, of course. She's not in the White House yet officially, and hopefully she never will. The only way she can get in is by having the election totally rigged, because there's no way that she'd beat Donald Trump in the current situation as it is. She's just an idiot. Just look at the numbers of people that show up at her rallies, and some of that might not even be real, and some of them are paid people. Folks, are you able at all, any of you, to see the insanity of our world? Are you able to see how ridiculous and how it seems to be rigged? The whole system seems to be rigged, not in favor of good things happening, but in favor of it getting worse and worse and worse, starting with the cabal's idea to reduce the world's population to 500 million people, killing at least 6.5 to 7 billion people. That's how many they'd have to get rid of. That's why they don't try to fix problems like there are in third world countries in Africa and Latin America and other places around the world where poverty is literally destroying people's lives and killing them, including many children. And it's insane. And then the media is controlled by the insane asylum operatives that create the insanity. These are the ones that spread the lies and disinformation and create the sea of confusion that we as humans have to swim in, whether we like it or not. There are some people that go and live in the wilderness somewhere, and they don't get mixed up in the human society at all. They're escapists or whatever. But people like me, and there's many of us that actually want to make a difference, and yet we can't. Our hands are tied. We're powerless. We're not given the resources, whether they're spiritual or whether they're material resources. We're not given the resources that are necessary to affect the outcome of the situation. So we're dependent on the good graces of a God who may or may not exist. I mean, I never questioned that God might not exist, but I have to question it now. I have to question it, because if a God exists, why would he allow this criminality to keep going on generation after generation after generation for as long a time as it has been going on? As I said, it's total insanity. And who is responsible for the insanity? People say, well, we are, but we've been brainwashed. We've had our codons turned off. We're using only a partial amount of our actual gifts, talents, and abilities because they've been shut off. So that all we have is our sex drive, and that's been twisted all out of proportion, so that it's you have adults with children and all sorts of bestiality and sins that I don't even want to mention, but they exist. They exist in our world, and the people that are running the show are often the ones most guilty of these sins and this corruption. What's going on? And where is God? Where is God? And what is God's plan for ending this sea of confusion? I mean, if it was up to me, there would simply be a mass, not murder, but a mass taking out, a rapture of the bad people. I know that it's been created, put in our minds that the good people are going to be taken off the planet and go to some heaven somewhere. Well, that's BS to me. It needs to be the exact opposite. The people, the demons, need to be taken off the planet and put in a rehabilitation center somewhere in the universe where they can make a choice. Do they want to continue to play the dark roles, or are they willing to come home and to live in a balanced world where there's love and light and where we can explore, but we can't cross boundaries of breaking other people's free will, violating other people's free will. That's the boundary, folks. I see that as the boundary. Maybe I'm wrong, but if that's not the boundary, then the world's insane. Then the world is insane, and we're all idiots for even being willing to play in this game that's rigged and fixed against anything that's reasonable, anything that's just and justifiable, anything that's logical, anything that's good. If it sounds like I'm frustrated, you're absolutely right. I'm extremely frustrated, and I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm grateful for the reconciliation with my son and the confusion there being ended. We still don't agree on things, but I know he loves me and I love him, and he has his lifestyle and I have mine, and they're not the same, but we live under the same roof. Anyway, folks, pray for one another, and let's try to work together to turn things around. And you naysayers that say it's never going to happen, you're on the wrong side. I'm sorry. I wish you'd stop commenting on my videos, because you're not offering any positive solutions or suggestions. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't know why you're even on my channel, because I would like to have people that offer things that might bring actual change. That's what I look for, actual change. Not it's never going to happen, and not just promises that it's happening and it doesn't happen. Somewhere there has to be something that meets, I don't know where it meets, in the middle somewhere. Anyway, folks, as I said, pray for one another. Remember me too. And I'll hang in there as long as I can. I'm not going to, somebody suggested that I was implying that I was going to commit suicide. That's simply not true. I am not suicidal, just so that you know. It's up to God to take me out if I'm going to be taken out. Thank you for listening, and namaste.